This is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, school is officially in session for many students across the region now. In Knott County, students at Hindman Elementary School walked into their classrooms for the first time today. Principal Brandy Sims says it finally feels like they are getting back to a true sense of normalcy after the school flooded last July. The start date was pushed back, and they finally had time during the summer to get repairs in order.
The students were really excited to get back. We have brand new furniture in all of the classrooms. All of the classroom floors are complete. We have our cafeteria floor complete. So lots of new additions for them to come back to this year.
Sims says one of the final steps to officially be back to normal is for the hallway floor to be put down, and they expect that to happen before Labor Day. The city of Jackson will receive $1 million to help with construction of a new housing development to benefit flood survivors. Congressman Hal Rogers announced the money on Monday. That will be used to replace a 10,000-gallon tank with a 300,000-gallon tank. The increased tank capacity will help the incoming residents gain access to water that would not have previously been available.
The grant is going to be used to help develop water and sewer services to an area of Jackson that we don't have services at this time, and we really need the infrastructure to support housing development.
Jackson Mayor Laura Thomas says the new development will house 14 flood survivors. She says there are still different tasks that need to be done before being able to use the money.
Well, the first half of your Wednesday, not too bad. Most of us were dry today, and that will continue into this afternoon, but we are tracking some changes as we go into tonight. Here's a live look right now, though, from Buffalo Mountain. Dry, but also cloudy. That current temperature at 81 degrees over at Buffalo Mountain. Most of us right now in the lower 80s, a little bit below average. We should be near 84. Most of us, though, a little bit below that in the lower 80 range. 80 in Jackson, 81 here in Perry County, 82 in Clay County and Manchester, and up to 79 over in Pikeville at this hour. Now up on the radar, we are dry, but notice as we zoom out, we are tracking some heavier showers now in eastern or western Tennessee, also western Kentucky, and this will continue pushing off to the east. And as it does so, we are watching out for those rain chances to increase tonight, also as we get into early on Thursday. But if you have any plans though this evening, maybe to go out to dinner, most of us are in pretty good shape. But again, we are tracking those increased rain chances as we go overnight tonight. Some of that could be a little bit heavy as well. Those overnight lows falling into the upper 60s and lower 70s as you wake up on Thursday. And that full forecast plus the details on the summer sizzle by this weekend coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Cameron, thanks. Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell says Americans will continue to struggle with inflation and that the problem, quote, has not completely gone away. McConnell spoke during a visit to Louisville today.
What we needed to do was not add another $2.7 trillion in spending. First, the $1.9 trillion rescue plan, and then $750 billion the next year, all of it done on a purely partisan basis. Not a single Republican in the House or Senate supported either one.
The senator says raising interest rates is the only way out of inflation. Well, many households are just trying to keep up right now, and that has taken a toll on credit card balances and retirement accounts. Karen Kafa has a look at the numbers.
Two new reports illustrate the toll of nearly 2 years of elevated inflation on households. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York said Americans' credit card debt passed the $1 trillion mark for the first time during the second quarter of this year. Overall household debt, which also includes mortgages, auto loans, and student loans, has climbed $2.9 trillion since the end of 2019 before the COVID-19 pandemic. And higher interest rates, the Federal Reserve's key tool to curb inflation, will make it harder to pay those debts down.
When interest rates rise, the debt that people hold gets more and more expensive, And that's certainly playing a role along with inflation and a few other things.
A second report from Bank of America found a surge in the number of Americans making emergency withdrawals from their 401k accounts. Another sign households are struggling to keep up. But households do have a strong labor market and easing inflation in their favor right now. Matt Schultz, chief credit analyst for LendingTree, says if consumers can, they should make debt payments a priority to protect finances for the future.
When you're in a situation like that, about the best thing you can do is knock down that debt that you have as soon as you can. It's a lot easier said than done when life is so expensive in 2023, but it's a really important thing to do.
In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Well, one lucky person who purchased a Mega Millions ticket in northern Florida is now a mega millionaire. One ticket sold at a Publix grocery store in Neptune Beach, east of Jacksonville, matched the Mega Millions winning numbers for the $1.58 billion jackpot.
I know for sure I'd help people. I'd help my family out a lot. And everybody that I know, people on the street, I would help. I think that there's just not enough people that are being kind and helping people out. There's a lot of people suffering today, and I'd like to be able to help them.
Whoever won could choose to spread the full amount in annual payments over 29 years or take a one-time payment of about $783 million, both before taxes. There's a new scam going around, and this time it's through the mail. The Laurel County Sheriff's Office is warning people who receive mail to be believed to be from the Internal Revenue Service. You should always be skeptical of anything containing the IRS name, and it should not be coming from Texas.
People in this area, in fact anywhere in Kentucky, if they have dealings with a regional office, it will be in Louisville, Kentucky or Kansas City, Missouri. So that will lead to some credence to the letter that you get.
Deputy Achardo also says you can always call or bring in any suspicious mail to the sheriff's office, and you should always double check who is getting your information. Coming up on First at 4,